were really fortunate to get this space. It just came up available at the right time for us.
Yep.
And the landlord's been really generous to us.
It's a small warehouse in the Auckland suburb of Avondale, home to the Village Trust Food Bank, where I find manager Maliena Jones.
And I can see right at the top there you've got, it's not just food, because I think people would think food, but things like baby products, right, nappies.
Yes, we were donated nappies and formula, so obviously we all know that that's really expensive for families. So part of it, when they apply online, we ask if they've got babies and what their needs are, and if they put down the sizes, we'll have them ready for when they come to pick up the parcels.
I can see you've got muesli bars, you've got palm olive. Of course, I suppose it's all things I wouldn't think of too, and lots of toilet paper over there as well.
I mean, we got like muesli bars and biscuits because we're mindful that, school is nearly finished, but I thought of it as a parent, like if my kids went to school, they want to have something in their lunchbox or like just have normal food. And so we've got all your basics and also like the toiletries that families need.
Yeah, and things are pretty serious when you need a fork hoist, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, because we do youth mentoring, so it's funny, our youth workers always have had a past life working somewhere before they came, and so young Fred, who works here, he's actually doing a tournament but he's very qualified to use the forklift.
The fork hoist king.
Yep.
If the Jones name seems familiar, the food bank, which has been in operation since 2009, is the brainchild of Maliena's husband, Sir Michael Jones. But it's a family affair, with son Nick also volunteering to distribute food parcels. The family distributed 2,700 food parcels in Level 4 lockdown alone. Lena is a single mum who suffers from depression and mental illness. She visits now once a month after seeing it on Facebook.
I lost my job. I had nothing to help me with, no support from family members because they were going through the same thing, and I just felt like there was no way out. But with these guys, they've really helped me just really get back on my feet, and yeah.
Maliena tells me COVID-19 has been a tipping point the family couldn't have foreseen when the food bank opened more than a decade ago.
When New World in New Lynn just opened up, and just by conversation, we just sort of asked, what are you doing with your leftover food or things that you're not going to be using? And they offered it to give it to us as a community, and that's where we started. And it's just, like I said, it's just grown from that. And I think when there's a need that presents itself, particularly for our Pasifika community, it really presented itself over the last few years, but particularly with COVID-19, and just having that heart for our community just sort of pushes you to find every avenue to make things happen. Yeah.
And how many years have you been doing this?
2009 is when we started off, but to this level was really 2020 just brought it to a whole nother level. Yeah.
And when you say another level, we're standing here in a warehouse full of things. I can see New World bags, I can see pack and save bags, there's pallets of kumara, there's flour up there, you've got nappies and all sorts. How do you go about getting this, and what's the magic word or the charming word that makes it happen?
I think the key is relationships. Like, we've built up relationships with our community over the years, and there's so many kind and generous Kiwis that are wanting to help, and so it just takes a shoulder tap or a phone call to say, hey, we're doing this, and it's not for our own gain or profit. And as soon as they know that it's for others, and they know that they trust you to do the work, we've had so much response from the community, and that's like from our landlord to the suppliers to the volunteers. It's all been other people and those relationships that have made this happen.
Do you, when you look back at when you first did it, what does it tell you about the state of, I guess, New Zealand now, with the amount of people that need help compared to how when you started and where you are now?
There's a lot of, I suppose you hear it from the Salvation Army, who are sort of like, I would say, the pros, had been doing this for decades. They've been saying, we've got an issue of poverty in New Zealand. And I think the reality is that, we have in our minds what that looks like, but it could be just the person next door just really going through difficult times. And I just think it's going to be part of who we are as New Zealand for a while, until we either are able to address some of those issues and the lack of for some families.
asking is always hard. You know, it's hard for you guys, I guess, to try and figure the way to ask for things. And also asking for help is really hard for a lot of people. Do you get the ones on the people's first visit? Do you get a lot of people that you can look at, you know, because it's a pride thing, right? You want to be able to make it on your own. When you leave your parents' house, you're like, I'm going to do this. And then you find yourself, or perhaps if you depart, you know, your homeland and come to here as well, those people the first times in, do you notice them, and is there a thing you do to try and make them feel comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the common thing, because we have an online sort of very anonymous way that people can apply. So we're not, you know, there's no judgment to it, but a lot of it, even the comments, I've never done this before. It's the first time I've ever had to ask for help. Would I please be considered? And they're always like, but if there's someone else that needs it more, then I'm all right. So we've got a lot of humble people that are struggling, and it is you know, from all nationalities, particularly our Pacifica, it's very hard to ask for help and assistance. But one thing at our organization, the way we approach is that we want to maintain everyone's mana. Like, there's no, you know, like it, whatever their need is, what we want to do is enhance that and make sure that we protect them and provide for them, and that we're just there to help in whatever way. And it's done very discreetly, so when families come, it's just one at a time rather than all coming at the same time. And we try and, you know, their information is kept just to ourselves. And it's a humbling experience for families, but the gratitude that we see in return is, we know that, it's helping them.
Yeah, you said there that they can book online, and then you try and make it so that people come in like that. About how many, because I can see there's a lot of action going on in the warehouse. You've got two fine young men in there helping you out. They're very polite, by the way. They're really great. How many packages do you think that you will be helping and sending out today even?
So today there's about 35 that are on there, and then we also have another organization that will be picking up 25, so they'll just come to the back and pick that up directly from us. So it varies. That's probably what a normal day would look like.